Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glen Cowie, where we discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur with both the match attending and international supporters' view. This week we'll cover the Dortmund game on Tuesday and we'll preview the Burnley match coming up this weekend on Saturday. A lot to get through, so let's get into it.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day. Home and away.
Glenn, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Early start for me this morning, Saturday morning. I was helping set up a farmer's market at 6:45 and...
Ouch.
Yep, Saturday morning. It's all right. Went to breakfast. It was quite nice, actually, so we did it, and then we had afforded our time to go and get a breakfast date at 7:45 in the morning, so that was good. Me and Lindsay, we're going to max out, I think, at about 38 degrees Celsius here today. So I think for our guests who I'll properly introduce in a moment, that's north of 100 Fahrenheit. But I'm well, Graham. I'm well. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, actually. You had a pretty busy day, pretty week at work. I was in Netherlands yesterday, went to The Hague for a customer visit, which actually went really well. And the travelling wasn't too arduous.
Good stuff.
And they have a pretty decent joined up train system, which we could learn a lot from. Like straight from the airport to right outside the building I needed to be to on one train.
There you go.
I could learn. And it didn't have to get a mortgage to do it either.
Yeah, well, something that the UK could certainly learn from Australia as well with affordable train travel. Enough about train travel, I guess. Without further ado, our guest today, this week, Keith Mainland, a very good friend of mine from back in Colorado. But as is always the case with me, I tend to have weird connections with people. But Keith worked at the same department store I did, Alders of Camberley, and is from the same area as me. And you really, Graham, because you're from Yates.
Yeah,
it's like
I meet these people from all around the world and everyone lives within about 100 yards of me. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Keith. Great to have you on, mate. How are things going, mate?
Things are going wonderfully, thanks, Glenn. Good to meet you, Graham. So you're clipping 100. We are not going to get above freezing, above 0 degrees Celsius for the next 4 days.
Well, you can keep that. You can certainly keep that, mate. I'm very much enjoying my summer. And the Australian Open's on as well. I don't know if you're a tennis fan, Keith, but I've been watching a bit of the Open as well, which has been great fun.
I am a sports fanatic. I am watching the Australian Open as well.
Good stuff, mate. Glad to hear it. Well, look, the sport we're here to talk about today, of course, is football with Tottenham. Before we get into the Dortmund game, what we always like to do, Keith, is get a bit of background about you, really, mate, on like, why Spurs for you? Any favourite players from the era that you were brought into being a Spurs fan? Did you get a choice? Were you beaten into it like I was? So maybe just a bit from you about that. And then you mentioned you've recently been to the stadium for the first time, I think, for the Fulham and Brentford games. Over to you, Keith. Share with us, mate. Share with our viewers and listeners on why Tottenham for you.
Well, if you can see me, my dusty hair. Yeah, I'm old as dirt. So growing up, and when I say growing up, till I was about 8 years old, I was a Chelsea fan. Now, I know. But there was a reason. Alan Birchnell, when he was playing for Chelsea, lived in my neighborhood. And so everyone knew him and, you know, you could see him and go knock on his door and say hi. So I was sort of, you know, enamored. And then he went to Leicester. And now he's the Leicester City legend. And I went, screw Chelsea then. I'm going to find a team that I enjoy watching. Chelsea wasn't it. And so in the early 1970s, Tottenham became my team. So I grew, the first lineups I can remember had Pat Jennings, Roy Kinnear, Cyril Knowles, Mike England, Phil Beale, Alan Mullery, Steve Perryman, Ralph Coates, Martin Chivers. I don't remember Greavesy, but I do remember Martin Peters. I mean, it's that era. Those were the first teams that I remember.
Has been a very young Perryman in coming into a team of players that have been there for some time as well, right? So,
a
real blend of new and old there.
Yep, I forgot Gil Zine.
Wow.
And
so from that era, then, Keith, like I'm trying to think, we won. What because we win the League Cup in the early 70s?
We did.
We didn't win an FA Cup in the 70s, did we? But like, what?
No.
What's your standout memory? Obviously, the players you've listed, but like, what was your first game then? Do you remember?
I went to, funnily enough, a Tottenham-Chelsea game, but it was
Right.
at the bridge, the old Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my first Tottenham game was. I mean, I can remember going to games and standing in the shelf and even at the Park Lane end. But, you know, I was there for the Nottingham Forest game when Hoddle scored on a volley from just inside the box. He took the goalkeeper took a punt, and the ball never hit the ground until it hit the back of the net. So I can remember. I remember going to those games. I remember watching us win the UEFA Cup, beating Wolves.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. My dad was at that. Yeah.
So, you know, those are the sorts of games, you know, like going to White Hart Lane. Hoddle was just otherworldly. I can remember standing and we got free kicks within shooting range and everyone just went, and the stadium fell silent so that he could concentrate and hit the ball. And, you know, just lots and lots of fun driving up from Camberley for midweek games and parking, getting in, and this will make you laugh, getting in when it was £1 to go through the turnstiles.
And did you paid on the gate?
Yes. Well, yeah, you went up without tickets. And, you know, if you were semi-regular and you knew which turnstiles to go to, so I would go up with a mate of mine who also worked at Alders, and we would go and you go to this particular turnstile and we get in 2 for £1.50. So you get real close to each other, spin the turnstile once for the two of you, put £1.50 down. The guy would put the £1 in the till because that matched the numbers and pocket the 50p. Can't do that anymore, let me tell you. Good God.
Yeah.
Getting into the stadium now is unbelievable.
It's like it's more like going through an airport now than a football stadium, isn't it?
Oh, the security and scanning QR codes and, you know, I mean, it's frightening how much it is to go to games. So we had to get our memberships. So my wife, my son, his fiance, and myself all go. So we all had to become members.
Yep.
So that was £45.
It's wrong, isn't it? That they charge you that and you have to do that to then get the access to the tickets. Yeah, it's a piss
Then
take.
you get your tickets. Yeah, and yeah, it's a whole different level of corporate money grubbing.
Yeah. They have relaxed the rules a little bit now. Like you can do for like season ticket holders like us, they stopped us transferring our tickets to other people unless they had a membership. But now we can do it 3 times a season, so we can transfer tickets 3 times a season to anybody.
Okay. Yeah, which is
well, it's okay, but it's a step backwards from last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And so my first tickets, a mate of mine's a season ticket holder, and he got 1872 club member tickets for my wife and I. So we got to hobnob and hang out with a couple of players and free food and drink. Well, free $5 a ticket.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, when you're not going all the time, it was worth it.
Make it worth it, yeah. So the key part in between all of that then, Keith, from the very beginning of Spurs to going recently, you obviously moved to Colorado. I think you were actually in Georgia first, weren't you? Were you Atlanta?
That is... you got a good memory. Yeah, I moved to America 1982. So my last full season culminated with the FA Cup. Yeah. Okay, now I didn't get to go, but I watched it on TV and I leapt around and cheered and screamed and yelled like I was there. And you know, that's a good thing to go out on.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is similar to Jeremy in Denver because of ages and stuff. He's maybe a bit younger than you. But where I'm going with this is you moved to America in a time where probably to to figure out what was going on in the football in England, you'd have to get the paper, or there was no internet.
And it wouldn't have been the same day. You'd have got it a day later or 2 days later. Yeah.
Did you lose touch with it when you left for the States, mate? Or how did you?
Yeah.
How did you remain in touch with the scores and like keeping us? Because now it's very easy, right? But back then it would have been bloody hard.
It was impossible. So I moved here, and the only football you could get when I lived in Atlanta was a TV show on public broadcasting called Soccer Made in Germany. So they covered the Bundesliga, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I got to know the Bundesliga of the 80s quite well. But it was really, really hard. You know, I missed out on the days of like Darren Anderton on the occasional times he played, Gary Mabbott.
Yeah. Paul Gascoigne.
God, what's the French guy? Ginola. I didn't see nothing. That whole era is blank. And it wasn't until early 2000s when the internet got up that I could start to follow again.
Yeah, start to bring it back around. So
it's really interesting how things have changed so much. I remember I think I've talked about it before, but I was in the States for Euro 96 and it would not have known it was on. And it's like the third biggest televised event in world television, and you wouldn't have known it was on. And I'd have to phone home, and my brother-in-law would hold the phone next to the television so I could listen to the commentary. And then I was getting newspapers 2 days late to find out the results. It was mad. And also the fan community and how people hold fan communities together has changed. And it's something I've got this idea about putting a series together on it, but. You know, you used to get fanzines outside the ground. Like people would print their own fanzines and sell them outside the ground. Then it became emailing lists online, and then it was blogs, and then it was. And it's this that gradually now we have it's like a complete self-hosted media circus. So that there's like individuals who run their own podcasts that get thousands and thousands of views, and so that. There's so much media around football now that it's almost impossible to miss, let alone hit.
And on that point, because the kickoff times are just absolutely garbage here, even though the coverage is excellent. Like, I don't watch as much as I would like live because obviously it's 2, 3, 4 in the morning. But the way I have to avoid the score is I put my phone in airplane mode, and then otherwise, I know I'd see it. So I'm just like phone in airplane mode, and then I wake up and it's live to me. So that's the only way I can avoid any Tottenham or football news. But since we're on that topic, Keith, you're obviously in Colorado now. What's your viewing experience? I know, of course, I got to catch up with you in 2024 in September. I saw you at Esther's.
Correct.
You still going to Esther's, mate, or do you watch at home, or what's your kind of preferred method? And then what times? The game's is in the morning, of course, for you, but share with us, mate. How does the Tottenham experience shape up for Keith on a weekend?
It varies. I'm not as fanatical about going down to Esther's as I was when I was running the supporters club. I've sort of handed that off now, and there are people that live closer, that sort of stuff, that are going to Esther's. Esther's for me is a 45, 50-minute drive each way.
Commitment. That's a commitment.
Now, Esther's is awesome. It's a fantastic place to watch a game, regardless of time. Those 12:30 p.m. kickoffs, that's a 5:30 a.m. kickoff time for me, which means I'm leaving my house at 4:30 in the morning to go watch a game. And I do that. I don't do it as much as...
I've been in there with you for those 5:30 a.m. ones.
I've done a couple of those in Estes.
Yeah, Graeme did.
Yeah. So and it's wonderful that they have set themselves up so that they will open for us. We bring our own food because the kitchens aren't open, but they'll 6 o'clock they'll serve us alcohol. So it's fantastic. But all the TVs, they've got 6 or 8 TVs, a couple of real big screen, sort of 100-inch screens at the ends, and I have a shelf. There's a bar that runs across the middle of the room, and that's where I stand to watch the game. I will not sit down, just like I never used to.
You're viewing I remember watching games with you there, and we're very similar supporters in that vein. I can't sit and watch Tottenham. Like, I stand, much like Keith does. And I'm very conscious, and I don't want to block anyone's view, so I stand at the back with the bar there, saying that for me is the way to watch football if you're in the pub. I have to stand.
Yep, have to stand. So yeah, that is nice. So tomorrow's Burnley game kicks off at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. You can sit, you can watch. Being in Colorado, it's really good times.
Yeah,
so 8 and then 10:30, or on Sundays 7 and 9.
Yeah.
I guess the only challenge for a lot of people is the midweek evening games that kind of like mid-afternoon.
Because that's lunchtime, isn't it, Keith? Yeah.
Unless you're lucky enough to be able to duck out of work for a couple of hours. Like, I know a lot of people have off-site meetings on those.
Or you can be like me and just retire.
See, that's the way to do it.
So that was the way I watched the Dortmund game. But, I was very fortunate. I coached, still do, the school football team, soccer team. Just so you know, I'm talking English football.
Well, this does go out to multiple countries, Keith, so soccer, football, yeah.
Okay. And so I had the last period of the day off. And so that meant on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I was done teaching at about 1:10. So I as a teacher, I could hook into and watch games. So, like the Ajax game, the Champions League semi-final, I'm in a classroom, just me watching that game. We're down 3-0, and I'm effing and blinding all over the place. And we come back, and Mora gets that goal at the very end, and I run out of the classroom, and I'm whooping and hollering and high-stepping down the hallway outside classrooms. And the kids
brilliant.
all know how crazy I am about Tottenham. And they all knew what had happened. There were kids that came out to watch.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
just
love it.
Well, that game for me was a 5 a.m. kickoff in Melbourne, and it was obviously during my start to winter where it's cooling down a bit. So I was in my oversized boxer shorts under a blanket, watching it in my living room. And I kind of forgot that that's what I was wearing or wasn't wearing. And I FaceTimed Graeme. And I was like, this to my underwear. And I was like, oh shit, I was just in my pants.
I was in a hotel bar in Amsterdam. I was out there for work. Couldn't get tickets for the game, but I was there. I went to the Amsterdam Spurs supporters put on a Legends night the night before. So I went along to that. I knew a few of the guys because I'd watched some games because I was traveling over there a lot. Same as when I was in Denver, I found the local supporters club and I'd go and meet up with them to watch the Champions League games during the week. So I knew a lot of them. They invited me to this thing, and they had Graham Roberts and Clive Allen, I think it was, were the two guests. So they had a really good evening, and then there was a special guest that no one knew was coming. Martin Yole turned up.
How good!
Wow. So cool. He got absolutely. Everyone sung his name. Yeah. Martin Yole. He's got no hair, and we don't care. Was brilliant.
Was he going to the game, Graeme, or did he watch it with you lot?
No. I think he went to the game.
Yeah, so
he's probably doing television or something. But
yeah.
But he was apparently he was really worried about going because he didn't know what kind of reception he would get.
Mm.
I mean, he got an amazing reception. It was super. It was really good. Then because I couldn't go to the game, I was in the hotel bar on my own. There was about 3 people in there. There was the hotel staff, all Ajax fans. There was one other English guy in there. He had to be an Arsenal fan, right? and me. And when we scored, I got up and I ran around. I tripped over a sofa and went flying. And then I spoke to Glen on the phone. Glen's half naked on the phone to me. What a night.
Yeah.
It was great. It was. And then I was in Greece. I was in Greece for the Champions League final because I was running a trip. And so my daughter was with me, and the whole group wanted to see me at a Champions League final game. They wanted to see what I was going to do. And of course, we started so badly with that stupid penalty kick, and everyone was Liverpool supporters. So, it was not a good night. My daughter went home and punched a door.
Yeah, memories. Well, more recent memories. We're back in, obviously, competing in the Champions League. And Graeme, finally, Wednesday, or Tuesday, I guess it was for you, Wednesday morning for me, we finally looked competent in a game of football. I was like, what's this?
I think it's really funny. It's really funny because on Sunday, obviously, we had Ben on as a guest who's a sports writer and covers the Bundesliga, who's actually a Dortmund fan. And we were really down on, we were like, this is going to be a cricket score. We got no chance.
Yeah.
And he was much more upbeat about our chances than we were. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't see us getting anything out of this game at all. So I guess it's even better when your expectations are so low and then they put in a performance like that. And it was a really, really good performance.
It was.
First half, we were didn't know what, couldn't cope with us.
We were vibrant.
Really good to watch.
We were vibrant. We were on the front foot. We were taking risks. We were playing between the lines. We were creating things in the final.
It's a lot more energy, right?
Yeah, we were doing everything that we hadn't done for the last God knows how many weeks. I thought it was an excellent performance, regardless of if they went down to 10 men or not. I thought we were already playing very well before they went down to 10. I thought overall it was a great performance. But Keith, did you watch live, mates? That would have been lunchtime for you. Did you watch?
I did. I watched live. I very much like you expected to just be ready to turn it off at halftime, and we came out and, like you said, we pressed, we pushed. We took players on. It was a pleasure to watch Spence, who has been crap for the last few games, play really, really well. To watch Xavi running at defenders. To watch Odebear taking players on. To watch a team that looked like they gave a damn.
Yeah.
Play. And it was
couple of things from what you said, Keith, which you're absolutely right. It's the first time I've seen Xavi play with a smile on his face since he's been here. He was enjoying that, and you could see it in his face. And Spence, maybe it's me, but is this his Gareth Bale moment? Because he's like, he was really good on the left wing, really good. He could cross a ball, he could go past a player, all the things that we've really been lacking the people who've been playing on the left have been ineffective for us this season. Even when Odebert's played there and Tell, and it's just not been very effective. It was the change in energy, and it was great to see Udogie back as well.
Yeah,
yes,
Udogie.
I think that made a huge difference, having a left back there that Spence could go, okay, I'm free to run at defenders. And he was, because I think he set a tone, Odebear on the other side said, right, if he's going to do it, I'm going to do it. Yeah. And we started attacking. And now, maybe this is my difference with the two of you. I thought the second half we were crap. We had our chance to kill that game.
Yeah.
We stopped. We stopped all the things that we just talked about. The press, taking players on, switching fields, moving the ball with speed, accuracy. We just didn't. Second half, Romero's putting his foot on the ball and looking around and thinking about what he's going to do. And it wasn't just him. By the time our defenders were making up their minds what they were going to do, it was too late. Dortmund looked like they were playing with 11 and pressed us harder than we pressed them. Now, we had a couple of chances at the end. I want to talk about that too. Mawani has demonstrated he is a waste of time and space.
I agree entirely.
He's not a target man. He can't dribble past people. He's shown that he can't score. He can put the ball in the net from offside positions, but that through run, he had a chance to go round the goalkeeper and just botched it completely. And I thought we were poor second half. Poor. Let me just finish this. It bothers me that we have now played 3 or 4 games in a row where we have shown for 45 minutes instead of 90.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Graeme, over to you, mate.
I have a slightly different take on the match in that I think we got 2-0 up in the first half. They were down to 10 men. We didn't have to go and chase the game because we were in a pretty solid position. I think that some of the substitutions didn't help. I think it took a lot of the sting out of what we had been doing. Slanky looked really good. It was actually not just the goal was the goal, but he leads the press from the front. So he's really effective part of the press.
Yep.
And his movement is much better for Xavi than any of the other strikers we've had playing. That he's making the runs that Xavi's looking for, whereas I don't think anyone knows what Richarlison's doing, even Richarlison. And Wani, as you say, I've seen nothing from him this season that says that we're going to even consider making it a permanent move. At the moment, he's just taking up a squad space. And if we could get someone else in that equivalent, then I think we probably should look at it. But I was really disappointed that Bergvall got injured because he was having a good game as well. That was sad. Looks like he's out for 3 months. Just had an ankle operation.
The medical team are getting a fair bit of stick for that, aren't they? In terms of they had him running on the spot, hopping on the bad ankle. But I do feel the player itself, he wanted to stay on. He wanted to keep trying. And I think
I like that, but maybe they need to protect him from himself sometimes.
Yeah, it wasn't a head injury, so you can't be too angry at them. It's frustrating. But what about young, I think you pronounce it, is it Giovanni Byfield that came on?
Byfield.
Yeah.
I thought he did fine. I don't think there was anything really asked of him. He was fine. I didn't sit there and go, wow, this guy's unbelievable. But he had a solid performance.
Yeah.
And it's a product of what we don't have available. But for me, we haven't brought enough through the academy in the recent years. So it was nice to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It was basically a kindergarten for a bench. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 of the subs were from the academy. So, and we've got a lot of injuries, right? So there wasn't no real choice. But it's nice to see that. We've had instances across the leagues. Remember when Pep Guardiola didn't fill 2 of the sub spots because he didn't have the players? And it's like, use the academy. That's what it's there for. So it was nice to see that from our perspective.
Yeah, I would get. We never got comfortable enough that you would have risked putting more of them on, right?
Correct. Yeah. Wouldn't disagree. A third goal changes it. Got back to you, Keith. What was that, mate?
Sorry, I was going to say, and that is symptomatic of us not continuing to do the things that we'd done in the first half.
Yeah,
I still think that, yes, we were up 2-0 and we were comfortable. However, they had the whole first half. The only time they looked dangerous was like 2 or 3 minutes in. And one of their guys had got a breakaway and he got caught with the ball under his feet and Porro came in and took it from him. Other than that, they never looked dangerous. And instead of, and this is my frustration, instead of going out and going, let's get 4 or 5, let's blood some of these youngsters, give them a shot. That's how Kane came through. He might be successful.
Yeah. Well, this is it. There was one occasion in the second half, it may have happened even twice, but they completely done us with one big long ball and we were so exposed. That was really disappointing for me. That was one point I would say I was a bit disappointed with. But overall, it's a huge win. It shot us up the Champions League table in the new format of the Champions League. And look, a broken clock is right twice a day. I would say UEFA have this new format right. I do think it creates more jeopardy. We're going into the last game away to Frankfurt in a really, really strong position, right? If we win that game, we're in the top 8. Therefore, no playoff.
And it's a dead rubber for Frankfurt. They can't qualify.
Yeah,
and they sacked their manager as well at the weekend.
So let's hope that we go there and do the business. But bringing it back around to domestic football, do you feel that performance, if I start with you, is a springboard to go and beat Burnley and go on a bit of a run ahead of a really tricky February? Or do you feel it was just a bit of a saving grace for Frank and it was a one-off? And do you have massive concerns with Thomas Frank as an entity, or are you in it for the long haul? Because I've flipped and flopped this season, but now I'm starting to just think if they were going to sack him, they would have done it after West Ham, and they're not going to do that. But Keith, what's your take, mate?
So if we don't beat Burnley, I think he's gone. Because it's going to drag us getting closer and closer to that relegation zone. It's not like it was last year where the 3 teams at the bottom were just cut off and they were so far behind. That's it. Wolves are gone.
Yeah. But the other 2, they're stringing results together. Yeah.
Yep. And we're not. And it will hit the ownership in the pocketbook if we get relegated.
Which I don't know if I sound elitist and arrogant, but for what it's worth, if we stick with Frank, I don't think if we lose to Burnley, I'll change my tune. But I don't know. I don't see us with the players we've got to come back and the energy that we had against Dortmund. I think there's a performance in us away to Burnley, and I think we'll win personally. So I don't think we get sucked into it. But even if we were to finish, say, 15th, 16th, it's still got good enough, is it? And that's where my elitist, arrogant maybe comes in. We haven't been good enough, and it's what is presented as far as form. But from a club perspective, like our size, our traditions, what we should be expecting, 15th, 16th, 14th, 13th, 12th, it's not good enough. I don't think. Keith, you do agree with that? It sounds like you would.
Yeah. I mean, it's a certain amount of arrogance, but I will confess, Frank looked great. First 2 games of the season, I was like, holy crap.
And the Super Cup. Yeah.
That's, we were in with a shot. We were playing against top-notch opposition. And, I was like, he's adapting. He's doing the things that Ange didn't do. But what I have seen since then is a manager who has a Brentford mentality. He's about, what do I need to do to counter the teams we're playing, rather than what do I need to do to make them have to counter me. He's not playing on the front foot as far as I'm concerned. I look at the way he plays, the team plays, the subs that he makes, and he's not going out to win games. He's going out from the start to try not to lose them.
Yeah.
And if we get ahead, then you try and hang on. It's not about going out and we are going to crush them.
Take it to you.
And we can't, I'm sorry, Vicario is a fantastic shot blocker and he makes some spectacular saves. But holy McMoley, having witnessed that Fulham game where he came out and played the ball down the line and they scored and he got the shit boot.
Yeah.
And Frank had to go at the fans for booing him. You're a professional. Okay? Yeah. You've got to take the responsibility. And to be fair to him, he said, I deserved it. It was stupid. Yeah. And I don't know if you watched the Dortmund game, he got the ball caught under his feet at one point. And what did he do? Whacked it out of bounds. And I'm like, thank God he learned.
I'd like to see Kinski given some minutes, but I'm hearing some wild rumour that he's going to go to West Ham and we're going to take their keeper, their backup or something. I don't know if that's going to happen. But Vicario, I agree with you, Keith, he's a great shot stopper, but he's Flappy McFlapperson at times. Graeme, your views, mate?
I think my concern is Burnley's our only winnable game till March.
Yeah.
In my opinion. If you look at the way we've been playing in the league, so we got Burnley, we got the Frankfurt game, which, we've got a good chance of getting something from that and progressing in the Champions League. But then we're at home to Man City, away to Man United, home to Newcastle, and then home to Arsenal.
Yeah. It's a tough.
At the moment, I don't see us getting much out of any of those games unless something significant changes in the remains of the window.
Well,
I'm hopeful that Man City are going through a Tottenham slump.
Well, Man City, for whatever reason, we seem to get a result against them, don't we? It doesn't seem to matter when we play them in whatever era that is in. Man United away is a tricky game. They'll find their groove, I think, under Carrick. I think they're sorted out now until the end of the season. Newcastle's always tough.
They've been a bit hit and miss this season away, haven't they, especially?
Yeah. Then the North London derby.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal are in the midst. They're going to win the league. They look so good. They just look so efficient. They're going to be one of the most boring teams ever to win the league.
I don't think they're very good at all to watch, are they? They're awful.
No.
But they're effective.
Yeah, they're effective and they rock up and they get it done is what I fear. So I wouldn't disagree.
It's like the Spanish George Graham, isn't
he? Yeah. No, totally. Totally. So, Keith, you're right in what you say in terms of if we don't beat Burnley, if we lose to Burnley, but what do you both think's going to happen? Keith, what's your prediction, mate, for the Burnley game? Well, first of all, you'll be watching it live. You're going to watch at home, mate?
I am. It's too cold, and the threat of overnight snow, and it's going to be like I think minus 12 tonight.
Yeah, no
Celsius.
Yeah, I'll think of you when after this recording, mate. I'm popping down to the bay for a bit of a swim. I'll think of you.
Okay. I'm going to get in the hot tub. How's that? No, I'll watch at home. I really believe we have a shot. I don't know that Burnley can score goals, and that's what will allow us to win the game. And I was trying to think how far back, and you guys have probably got the stats to tell me, when was the last time Tottenham won 3 games in a row?
Well, you make a great point. It's been a while.
I don't think it's 2025.
No, it wouldn't be. No, I'm going back all the way. I'm still struggling to see when it was.
It's probably like the first 10 matches
early
of
24.
Yeah,
first 10 matches of Angie's reign, maybe.
I was still going back, and I'm back all the way to November of 24, and I've still not seen it. Oh, here we go. We beat Karabag 27th of September 2004. And then the game I watched with you, Keith, in Esther's, September 2024, Man United away. Then we beat Ferencváros 2-1 away. That's the last time that we done 3 in a row by the looks of things.
So there you go. So, October of 24. So it's been more than a year. And we are looking at the opportunity here to win 3 on the bounce.
Yeah. So I'm not going to do what that. Have you seen that Man United fan who said he wouldn't cut his hair until they won 5 games in a row? His hair's almost as big. You could end up like this massive long,
ZZ
flowing
top
beard.
I
guess the other thing that we probably should talk about for the Burnley game is what changes do we expect to see from the team? Because we've got players that couldn't play in Europe. So Tell couldn't play, Gallagher couldn't play, Van der Ven was suspended. I think Bissouma couldn't play. So we have players to come back into the squad.
Does Sarr play?
He's back as well, of course. Yeah,
he can play. So.
Well, maybe he comes in for Bergvall.
I was going to say you put Gallagher for Bergvall.
Yeah.
Gallagher definitely starts because he started against West Ham, and I felt a bit sorry for him because nobody had a great game.
I would like to see us play with Gallagher at the 6 and play Xavi in front of him. Just one pivot, not that dual Palhinha.
I don't like the double pivot. I don't like it.
No. And this is what I mean about
it. I think it only works if you've got the players who can distribute the ball well. And that's been an issue for us because we've had I can only describe as the crab midfield that's always sideways. Yeah. Not enough forwards.
So I introduced what I called the Sissoko hat trick. So if you can remember back to when Sissoko was playing, and Sissoko hat-trick was if he could make 3 forward passes in a row. So if he got possession and passed the ball forwards, that was 1. And if he got 3, and that's the way I feel about Bentancur and Palhinha.
Yeah.
I like both of them, but they can't pass the ball for peanuts.
And whether it's passing the ball forward or not, what Gallagher gives you is he'd take the ball forward, he'd carry the ball forward, he'd be that link, and that's desperately what we've missed. So I think Gallagher starts. I think Solanke probably starts because I think he needs the minutes. I actually think Odegaard, from his performance, deserves to start. I don't know whether he will or not, but I think he deserves to. Then the other one is Van der Ven. He comes in for sure. And then Spence had a good game against Dortmund. But do you go Udogie on the left?
Udogie needs more minutes as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. So
Spence played in front of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I'll be honest, it worked. I'd do it again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And say to Tell, look, watch what Spence does and do that.
Yeah. So, look, I've almost given up with predicting what's going to happen in games we're playing in because, as Graeme and I said before the West Ham game, we should beat a West Ham team that haven't won in X, and then it doesn't mean that we will, and we didn't.
Dr. Tottenham.
I do think that Dortmund game, it seemed to me it was a bit of a turning point. I don't know what your guys' take on it is, but I just feel the pressure that was on Frank, I felt that lift. The players seem to be somewhat with him, which is nice to see. And look, don't get me wrong, I've been very much, I don't know if I want him in my club. I think he'll go, but I don't think it's going to happen now. So I'm kind of the view, well, I might as well just get behind it, because I've never been one of those fans that wants to see us lose to get rid of a manager. So I think we'll bounce back, and I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0 away to Burnley. Graham, you'll find a way to watch it, I'm sure, but are you as optimistic as I am?
Bloody 3:00 kickoff, blackout rubbish still. But yeah, I've got access to the game one way or another. We've had a few false dawns, let's put it this way, where we've won a game and everyone thinks, oh, that's more like it. Now we can build on that, and we've not done that, as we've talked about the lack of a consistent run of wins that we've had, and how infrequently we've strung wins together. But I feel like this one's achievable. We beat them at home earlier in the first game of the season. Was it first home game of the season? I think it was.
Yeah.
And I think that they've not improved significantly since then at all. If anything, I think I don't see much from them. It's a bit weird because they've spent a lot of money on players, including like Marcus Edwards is there, and I'd almost forgotten that he was there until he did something last week.
I was about to say, Marcus Edwards brace incoming then, is it, tomorrow?
Well, it does tend to happen to us quite a lot, doesn't it? But,
and then we'll want to buy him.
Yeah, probably.
Bring him back, yeah.
That's like the one thing I really was that after the West Ham game, like Somerville scored, and the next thing you know, we're trying to buy him. He's been shit all season. He only looks good against us. We're so guilty of buying players that have one good performance against us.
It's like how I behave when I'm playing Football Manager. Oh, he just scored against me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I in terms of prediction of score, I hope what I'm looking for is a clean sheet and any amount of goals. I'd take a 1-0. I think the result at the moment is probably the most important thing because of the run of games we've got after this. We need the points on the board. So we put a bit of distance between us and the bottom, which sounds awful. Like I'd much rather be looking out for. I mean, I don't think we're that far off mid-table. Like it's probably like 4 or 5 gets us up into the top 8. It's like it's quite congested in that middle of the table. But I'd say let's go a 2-0.
Things can turn quickly with a run of fixtures that we win. But to your point, Graham, February is absolutely gash in terms of what we've got ahead.
Yeah. March is a bit less gash, using your terminology. But I mean, you don't want to get to the end of February and be and literally be in a survival fight, right? That team, I'll be honest,
I don't trust them.
There's not enough characters in that squad to be in a relegation dogfight, is there?
Do not trust them
when you've got like Forest have got maybe not the players, but the coach is experienced.
They've got Dyche in there.
Dyche fighting around that bottom of the league. That's his bread and butter, isn't it? He's been dragging teams out of that for ages. So yeah, I wouldn't fancy our chances.
But Keith, have you got a score for us, mate, for Burnley?
I like what you said about the 2-0, but I really think that we could go out and put a number on the board. I can see us getting 4. I really can.
Good.
I'll take it.
If Frank lets them play.
That's it, isn't it? It's
wide open.
Stop worrying about what Burnley are going to do. Yeah.
If he starts Milwaukee.
He should be sacked at half time.
He should be. If he announces the starting lineup, he should be, and Mwani's in, he should be sacked before kickoff.
Yeah. Nah.
Agreed. But it's those
for me
types
has not
of
done
decisions.
it at all. I don't get it.
Didn't
PSG someone paid 90 million euros for him? That is nuts. Just absolutely
because the PSG bought him from Frankfurt?
Can't remember where he came from, but it was for big money.
Well, to be honest, Germany.
The warning signs were there in the World Cup final of 2022. He was the one that was through on goal who could have won it for France and completely fluffed his lines.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And so speaking of this, and I don't know whether you guys have been in on this, but the groups that I'm a part of, the Andy Robertson story.
Yeah, I was about to pivot to that. So two things. First one, bit of business that's been done is Sousa from Santos. Team, a fullback, might be played on the wing, but it remains to be seen when he is given minutes and how he is used. But Graham, you've got a bit of a feel-good story about that one, haven't you, in terms of what he did with the money?
Yeah, so he He's 19. He's been at Santos since he was a junior. He was probably one of the standout performers in a very bad Santos team last season. And at 19, he played a lot of games last season. And they're in a lot of financial trouble, I think. And he was their big chance to get a big payday, like to really kind of restock the coffers, so to speak. And as part of his transfer, he donated all of his part of the transfer fee,
like his sign-on
back to the club, back to Santos to invest in youth football development, which I thought was, for a 19-year-old, that's a pretty big, right? And I was quite impressed with that.
Shows a lot of humility.
Feels like a really good character. And I really want him to succeed. I want him to be more than just a Emerson Royale
or a Gilberto. Yeah. We want him to be good.
We don't have a great track record with Brazilian fullbacks.
I can't recall a Richarlison, even like a Brazilian that we've signed. Maybe Sandro. He was quite good, even though he ran like a horse.
He was fantastic until he got injured and never recovered from that,
I can't think of many Brazilians that have come to Spurs and done really well.
I think Sandro, just for the dressing room as well. Like
that
kung fu and his guitar.
Well, the amazing footage of Sandro doing like kung fu in the dressing room, like doing high kicks and stuff, like absolute nutcase.
So here's one. I would argue that thus far, Palhinha has been good.
Yeah. He's been.
I think my issue with him is he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's very good at that one trick. Like he's very good when we don't have possession at getting the ball back.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I forgot about the overhead kicks, but specifically, his role in the team is a destroyer.
Yes.
The problem is there are games where that's necessary, and those are the games where we don't have a lot of possession of the ball, where we need to win the ball back.
Yeah.
So when we're playing teams like Man City or Arsenal, where they're going to have a lot of the ball and we need to win the ball back. The problem is for the teams where they play a low block and they sit back and don't have a lot of the ball, he's not a lot of use because he doesn't have the range of passing to break those teams down. And we've got more of the ball, so he needs to be better in possession, and he's not. He's good at one thing, and there are times that we can definitely utilise that. But I think there are games where it's something that we can't afford to carry in the team.
For me, what you've described there is a slightly better Stefan Freund.
Man.
Ouch. Except he scored a lot more goals than Stefan Freund.
He has, yeah, indeed.
So what I was going to say about Sousa, I can't see him playing first-team football for us.
Agreed.
Until the start of the 27-28 season. Is that right?
I wouldn't disagree with you, Keith. I think, one...
6 months loan?
Yeah, one, I'm surprised he's not being loaned back to Santos or something, or he'll come in, we're out the League Cup, we're out the FA Cup, we're in the Champions League, and we're going to the knockout, we hope. It's like, where does he fit? And I hope he succeeds as well, but I do see in his future a 6-month loan. And I agree with you, Keith, then it might be another season loan. You're not going to see him in the first team for a while, and I think that's okay. I think he needs to go and develop. But then, go ahead, Graeme.
I was going to say, if the Robertson...
Yeah, that's where I was going. Bringing it full circle to Keith's point.
We're just collecting left-backs, it seems.
Yeah, well, it seems that way. One thing I'll say, and Keith, I'll bring you in on this because you raised it, but Andy Robertson, for me, I messaged it to Graeme earlier on, seems to be a sensible bit of business, right? He's been around the block. He's a good player. For me, he slots in and he just replaces Ben Davies in terms of that experience in the dressing room, the seniority. He wants the minutes to get to the World Cup as well. So for me, it's a sensible bit of business if it does in fact come off. Keith, though, you were going to share something, mate, on that. What's your take on the signing if it happens?
So I agree. I think it's a good bit of business. Like I say, I see Sousa not being here for a year and a half. And so you bring Robertson in, and I again talked about this with some of my Spurs chats. He brings with him, he's ready to go from the start. You slot him in. He has a winning mentality that he can bring to the dressing room. Liverpool won the league last year. They're perennial winning team. He can come in.
He's
agree with the.
he's still the Scotland captain as well. So like, he's
Yep.
he's with him and Gallagher. They bring a different. They've the experience of being managed. They're real leaders on the pitch and in the dressing room, and we really need that. I think because for all of the leadership group that we've had, I don't think there's a real leader amongst them.
Does Robertson?
They
go ahead, Keith.
They tout Romero, but he can't be trusted.
This is it with Romero.
He loses his head. He loses his head too much. You need somebody that can calm everybody else down. Romero's great at getting people fired up, and I wish he would play faster. Now, I feel kind of sorry for Danso because Danso's been playing really, really well.
Yeah. I really like Danso. I like Dan.
He's a really solid player.
He's going to be a third string behind Van der Ven and Romero for the moment.
Well, a very kind gift from Graeme after the Europa League. That's these cups that are caricatures. There's Danso. I love Danso's face on that. So good. I like Danso a lot. On the Robertson deal, I don't think it gets done before the Burnley game, but let's say it gets done by Monday. Do you think he could come straight into the 11? Or do you think he
can't play in the Champions League? He's not a domestic player.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he did his youth stuff in Scotland, and so he doesn't count as a homegrown player.
But okay, because he was didn't he come? Wasn't he from Hull? Didn't go from
Hull
to?
Where did he do his youth?
For Hull, he was in Scotland.
You have to do a 3 years of youth, and he did it in Scotland, so he does not count as a homegrown player.
So he's okay for the Premier League, but not. It would be harder to slot him into the.
So he can't slot him into Champions League. So then the following league game is
after the Frankfurt game. I think we can rejig the Champions League squad, right?
Pretty sure we can
before the next stage.
Yeah,
yes,
and that might be interesting because we've got a lot of longer.
Gallagher's definitely homegrown,
but we've also got a lot of injuries that with people that are currently in the squad that we might want to rotate because if someone's out for 3 or 4 months now, we're not seeing them until probably the semi-final or final if we get that. If we were to get that far, but we're not going to get that far unless we've got fit players, right? So it's kind of it's a difficult one.
No,
maybe 1 or 2 that you might want to keep just in case they get fit. We need willing and fit bodies to at least fill the bench.
And it's Bentancur, it's Bergvall, and you're looking at that number 6 role and who's going to play it. One of the thoughts that I had, and again, I may be completely off base here, I would try Van der Ven at a 6. You want to talk about a guy that'll drive the ball forward and put and have
things have happened.
I'll be honest, if we were going to choose one of the centre backs, I would say that Romero's got a better range of passing. He'd probably be a better option. And then
I think what Van der Ven does
behind
is that turn of pace, doesn't he? And you've seen it.
Yep.
In terms of carrying the
ball
forward.
I think that Romero's already been able to pick out like a splitting pass and maybe having a bit slightly more advice. And let's be honest, he plays as a striker half the time anyway. He can't help himself.
Well,
he loves it, doesn't he?
When you look at our squad and Van der Ven and Romero are our 2 leading scorers.
Yeah. Which is a worry in itself. That tells its own story. When you've gone from Kane and Son to Romero and Van der Ven, it tells its own story.
I think Brendan Johnson was in there.
Yeah.
I think, and the other one that's up there is OG as well.
Yeah, the own goals. Yeah. No, indeed.
I also saw that Romero scored twice as many league goals as Gyökeres to Arsenal.
I love that stat. Yeah.
This is nuts, right?
Yeah. Until the Gooners throw it back in our face when they do win the league, they won't care.
No, exactly.
No, good stuff, guys. I didn't have a great deal else other than to thank you, Keith, for coming on, mate.
Thanks.
Great to see you as always. Great insight. You're a great character. You'll be now added to the Tottenham home and away WhatsApp community. So feel free to provide any and all input you would like. And only thing else from me, and I'll pivot back to you, Graeme, to add anything else and close us out. But from me, as always, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, nothing
absolutely
extra to add. But we'll probably do another recording between the Burnley and the Frankfurt match, right? We'll try and do a preview for Frankfurt because I think it warrants some special attention. It's an important match in our season.
Indeed.
It has the opportunity to put us through without having to go through the playoffs. So super important. So, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Keith.
I appreciate the time, guys. Thanks very much. That was a lot of fun.
No, thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tick all the algorithms so we can get in front of more Tottenham supporters. And to close us out, as Glenn said, come on, you Spurs.
Let me be